Now here we are going to see how to derive a dimension formula of a physical quantity from its equation. There are plenty of physical quantities, so obviously there can be plenty of dimension formula also. Here we have chosen some selected physical quantities and we have derived the dimension formula of that physical quantity. But with the method what you will learn here, you can create any of the dimension formula of any of the physical quantity, even which is not included here. So let us see. First we will see the fundamental physical quantities. They are having only symbols and not the equations. That's why we will see first their dimension formulas. Like the first is mass, symbol is m, and while writing the dimension formula you know that you have to put m into a square bracket, and the dimension formula you are already aware of, m1 l0 t0. Then comes length, or say radius, height or distance, which is having a symbol like L, R, H, D and so on. So you have to put this all symbols in square bracket likewise, and the dimension formula will be m0 l1 t0. See, these are all sort of distance. Even radius is a distance, height is a distance, diameter is a distance, then displacement is a distance, arc is also one sort of distance. So for all of them the dimension formula remains same, m0 l1 t0. Then time or periodic time. For time, symbol is t, periodic time capital T. So put it in square bracket, so the dimension formula will be m0 l0 t1. These are all sort of time. That's why the dimension formula will be m0 l0 t1. Then current. Current is denoted by I. So into square bracket you have to put, and then the dimension formula is m0 l0 t0 and a1. See, the dimension of mass, length and time in case of current will be obviously 0. So we have to put here a1. We know that for current we put A is from ampere, A1. For temperature, which can be denoted by capital T and sometimes it is also denoted by theta. I repeat, temperature is sometimes denoted by theta. So into square bracket T and theta, then the dimension formula m0 l0 t0 and k1. For temperature the unit is Kelvin, and from that we have to put k1. You can see these are the 5 physical quantities from the 7 fundamental physical quantities. Likewise you can put for mole also, you can put for light intensity, luminance intensity also. I have taken this 5. Here we should note one thing, that most of the time the dimension formula is denoted by MLT. This is a conventional way of putting the dimension formula in terms of ML and T. And then whenever it is required, let us say here the current was to be introduced, that's why A1 is written, but here K is not written, K for Kelvin is not written, and here K1 is written but A for ampere is not written, and likewise here or here mole is not written, right? So conventionally the dimension formula requires 3 quantities M, L, T to be shown. Okay, now for area, we know that area is length into breadth. Length and breadth both are sort of length only. That's why the dimension formula will be m0 l2 t0. For volume, V is equal to length into breadth into height, and so they all of them are basically one sort of distance only, one sort of length only. That's why the dimension formula will be m0 l cube and t0. Let us move forward. Here now there is density. Density is rho is equal to m upon v, mass upon volume. For mass, obviously we will put m1. For volume we have already taken l cube, so that's why it is m1 l raised to minus 3 and t0. For frequency, the equation is f is equal to 1 upon t, where capital T is the periodic time. So f into square bracket and the dimension formula will be just m0 L0 t raised to minus 1. For speed and velocity, the equations are same. It is v is equal to d upon t. Velocity is equal to displacement upon time and speed is equal to distance upon time. For distance, we'll put L1, for time obviously t1, so it is m0 L1 t minus 1. Then acceleration. Acceleration is change of velocity upon time, that means delta v upon delta t. Now, whether it is change of velocity or velocity, the dimension formula remains same. So for velocity we know already the dimension formula is L1 t minus 1, and for time it is t1, that's why it is m0 L1 t minus 2. Then for momentum, the equation is mv, momentum p is equal to mass into velocity. So for mass it is m1, and for velocity we already know it is t1 L1 t raised to minus 1. So as a whole this becomes m1 L1 t raised to minus 1. Then comes charge. You are aware of this equation. Charge q is equal to it. I is the current, t is the time. For I, as we already seen, we have to take a1, and for time we have to take t1, and that's why the dimension formula of charge will become m0 L0 t1 and a1. Then temperature gradient. See, this is a physical quantity which you have not studied. Up to now, all of the physical quantities were which you already know. But there are few physical quantities I am going to teach you which you have not studied yet, but gradually in 11th standard and in 12th standard you will learn them. Here you have to just focus on the symbol and on their equation. Here for temperature gradient, it is delta T upon delta L. Temperature gradient is change of temperature per unit length. That's why it is just denoted by delta T upon delta L. So the dimension formula will be, see, delta T is change of temperature here, mind well, it is change of temperature. So for change of temperature or temperature we have to put K1, and for length this is L raised to minus 1. So the dimension formula becomes m0 L raised to minus 1 T0 K1. Let us move forward. Now is force. You know the equation of force, F is equal to ma, mass into acceleration. For mass obviously m1, and for acceleration we have already proved L1 t raised to minus 2. So the dimension formula becomes m1 L1 t raised to minus 2. Work. You know the equation of work. Work is equal to force into displacement. So again for force, the dimension formula is m1 L1 t minus 2, and for displacement it is L1 only, and that's why the dimension formula becomes m1 L2 t minus 2. Note this dimension formula, m1 L2 t minus 2. This dimension formula is going to be repeated in many other physical quantity as well. Let us see. Potential energy. You have learned this equation, U is equal to mgh is the potential energy, where m is mass, g is gravitational acceleration, and h is the height. And so we can write for mass it is m1. For g, see, g is a gravitational acceleration, so it is one sort of acceleration only. And for acceleration we know the dimension formula, that is L1 t raised to minus 2, and height is one sort of distance, so it is L1. So as a whole the dimension formula will be m1 L2 t minus 2. Then kinetic energy. For kinetic energy the equation is, I hope you know already, K is equal to 1/2 mv square, where m is mass and v is the velocity. See, this 1/2 is of no use in dimensional analysis, you know already. So for mass we will put m1, for velocity we will put L1 t raised to minus 1, but there is a square, so here is a square. Solving this we will get m1 L2 t minus 2. Nuclear energy. The equation is E is equal to mc square, or sometimes it is also given as delta mc square. This is the equation, a famous equation given by Einstein, you know that. So this is nuclear energy, and here is mass and c is velocity. It is velocity of light. So for mass I'll put m1, and for c, because it is velocity, I'll put L1 t raised to minus 1 and raised to square. So we will get m1 L2 t minus 2. You can see all of these four physical quantities are having same dimension formula. The reason is that all of them are having the same unit, joule. See, when the unit is same, obviously the dimensional formula will be also same. We know that unit of work is joule, unit of potential energy is also joule, unit of kinetic energy is joule, unit of nuclear energy is also joule. For any sort of energy, the unit is joule, and so the dimension formula will be also m1 L2 t minus 2. Then comes pressure. Pressure, P is equal to F upon A, that is force upon area. Force per unit area is known as pressure. So the dimension formula of force is m1 L1 t minus 2, and for area it is L2. So we can write m1 L raised to minus 1 and t raised to minus 2. This is the dimension formula for pressure. Then comes electric potential. Electric potential, or even for potential difference, it is V. V is equal to W upon Q. Work done per unit charge is known as electric potential, and that's why it is work per charge. W is work and Q is for charge. So for work, the dimension formula is m1 L2 t minus 2, and for charge it is a1 t1. Solving this, we will get m1 L2 t minus 3 a minus 1. Let us move forward. Now resistance. You know the Ohm's law. As per Ohm's law, resistance R is equal to V upon I, where V is the potential difference and I is the current. And we have already sorted out the dimension formula of V, and so we will write that m1 L2 t minus 3 a minus 1, and for current it is A1. Solving this, we will get m1 L2 t minus 3 a minus 2, that is for resistance capital R. Then comes capacitance. You have not studied yet, this you will learn in 12th standard, but you have to remember this equation. C is equal to Q by V, that is charge upon potential. So this is charge, and so the dimension formula is A1 T1, and this is V, that is the potential. So the dimension formula is m1 L2 t minus 3 a minus 1, and solving this we will get m minus 1 L minus 2 t raised to 4 and a raised to 2. Then inductance. Again, this is a physical quantity that you will learn in 12th standard, so need not to worry about it right now, but remember this equation. The inductance is denoted by L, capital L, and it is equal to V upon di by dt, where V is the potential difference and di is the small change in current and dt is the small time interval. So as per that, first I will put the dimension formula of V, which you already sort out. So we know that it is m1 L2 t minus 3 a minus 1. Then comes di by dt. This is di by dt, where I is current, that's why A1, and this dt is time, so I have to write t raised to minus 1. Solving this, we will get m1 L2 t minus 2 a minus 2. This is the dimension formula for inductance. Then thermal energy. You have seen this equation, H is equal to I square RT, that is the heat energy, or say the thermal energy, where I is the current, R is the resistance and T is time. So from the dimension formula what we have already sought out. I is having a dimension formula A, but it is square, so A square. Then for R it is m1 L2 t minus 3 A minus 2, and for time it is t1. Solving all of them, we will get m1 L2 t minus 2 and A raised to 0, or you can just write m1 L2 t minus 2. Again, it is just equal to work and energy because this is again energy. Then comes Planck's constant. Planck's constant can be sought out from a very famous equation given by Planck, that was E is equal to hf. This is of 12th standard, but let me explain this equation. E is equal to hf. It's a very famous equation where h is the Planck's constant. So from that equation, h can be written as E by f, where E is energy and f is frequency. So for energy, the dimension formula is m1 L2 t minus 2, and for frequency it is t raised to minus 1. So we can write m1 L2 t minus 1. This is dimension formula of Planck's constant. Let's move forward. Now is energy density. Now energy density is energy per unit volume. Energy per unit volume. So the equation is rho E is equal to E upon V. This is E, that is energy, and this is V, that is for volume. So we can write rho E is equal to the dimension formula of E, that is energy, is m1 L2 t minus 2. For volume, obviously it is L cube. Solving this, we will get m1 L raised to minus 1 t raised to minus 2. Here you might get confused that this V is sometimes for volume, sometimes for it is voltage or say potential. This rho is sometimes for just density, here it is for energy density, and so on. See, this happens. Physical quantities are in a very big large number, and the English alphabets are only 26. If you add the first ABCD and second ABCD, then also it becomes just 52. So it is quite obvious that the symbols will be repeated for different physical quantities. You will find the symbols being repeated for different physical quantities, like T, capital T is used for periodic time and temperature also. Capital P is used for power and pressure also. So this happens, but gradually by experience you will learn all of this. You need not to worry about. Then comes stress. Not that mental stress. This stress you will learn in 11th standard. Sigma is equal to F upon A. Force per unit area is known as stress. So it is F upon A. And for force, we know the dimension formula is m1 L1 t minus 2, and for area it is L2. So the dimension formula of stress will be m1 L minus 1 t minus 2. You can see this is exactly the same equation for pressure. For pressure also we use F upon A. Now stress, not that mental stress. This is stress on any object, which you will learn in 11th standard only. The symbol is sigma and the equation is F upon A. You can see this is the equation same as pressure also. Pressure is also F upon A. Here this F upon A means it is force per unit area. So as I am saying that this is just equal to the equation of pressure, but stress is not equal to pressure. Why it is so, that you will learn later in 11th standard only. Right now let us go with the dimension formula. This is force. So the dimension formula will be m1 L1 t minus 2, and for area it is L2. So it is m1 L raised to minus 1 T raised to minus 2. Then strain. Strain will also come in the same lesson. It is denoted by epsilon. Remember this sign, it is epsilon. Epsilon is delta L upon L. So obviously both are length only, change of length and length. So the dimension formula will be L1 and here also it is L1. So the dimension formula is nil, M0, L0 and T0. So strain has no dimension at all. Now Young's modulus, that is Y is equal to sigma upon epsilon. This sigma is the same stress and this epsilon is the same strain. So here the dimension formula of sigma, that is stress, is M1 L minus 1 T minus 2, and for strain it is null, M0 L0 T0. So obviously the remaining answer will be M1 L minus 2 T minus 2. Then comes angular momentum. This is a physical quantity of rotational motion. Angular momentum is denoted by capital L. Capital L is equal to mvr, mass into velocity into radius. So this mass can be written in form of dimensional formula as m1 for velocity, L1 t minus 1, and for radius obviously L1. Solving this, we will get m1 L2 t minus 1. Let us move forward. Now power. Power P let us move forward. Now power. Power P is equal to W upon T. Work per unit time is known as power. So it is work W upon time T. For work, the dimension formula is M1 L2 T minus 2. For time, it is T1, and so you will get M1 L2 T minus 3. Then comes torque. Torque is again a physical quantity of rotational motion, and the equation is torque tau. This is tau. This symbol is denoted as tau. So torque tau is equal to Rf sin theta, where R is radius, F is force, and sin theta is the trigonometrical function you know already. For R, that is radius, the dimension formula will be L1. For force, you know it is M1 L1 T minus 2. Sin theta is a trigonometric function. For that, there is no dimension formula we know. That's why the remaining is M1 L2 T minus 2. M1 L2 T minus 2 again. The unit of torque is Newton meter. See, from force you can write Newton, and for radius you can write meter. So unit becomes Newton meter. Sin theta is no unit. But this Newton meter can also be written as joule, and that's why here also the unit is joule. Though it is not written in form of joule, for torque always the unit is given in form of Newton meter. But because it is equivalent to joule, the dimension formula is also coming the same as work or energy, M1 L2 T minus 2. Then comes universal constant of gravitation. Now you know the equation of gravitational force, F is equal to G, and let me write again, F is equal to G and M1 M2 upon R square. I hope you remember this is the equation of gravitational force applying between two mass M1 and M2 at a distance R. Here this G is known as universal constant of gravitation. So we want to write the dimension formula of capital G. So first you have to make this capital G as subject. So from this, G will be equal to Fr square upon M1 M2, you can see, and that's why here I have written G is equal to Fr square upon M1 M2. And now we can find out the dimension formula. For force, we know it is M1 L1 T minus 2. For r, that is radius, it is L1 but raised to square. Then this is mass. Both mass are in multiplication, that's why we can write m1 raised to square. Solving this, we will get m raised to minus 1, L raised to 3, T raised to minus 2. Then comes impulse of force, that is denoted by I, and it is F into T. Force into time is impulse of force. So the dimension formula of force is m1 L1 T minus 2. For time it is T1, and that's why the result becomes m1 L1 T minus 1. Then comes surface tension. Surface tension is denoted by S, and the equation is F upon L. Force per unit length is known as surface tension. So this is force, so the dimension formula is m1 L1 T minus 2. For length it is L1, so the remaining is m1 L0 T minus 2. That is the dimension formula of surface tension. Then plane angle denoted by theta. Theta has no dimension because theta is not depending on mass or length or time. So the dimensions are 0, 0, 0. That's why the dimension formula of plane angle is null, m0 L0 T0. Angular velocity. This is again from rotational motion. Angular velocity is omega, that is equal to theta upon t. That is theta. See here, theta in case of rotational motion, theta is not just angle, it is known as angular displacement. So this is angular displacement upon time, and so it is angular velocity. Angular displacement upon time becomes angular velocity. Why it is so, that you will learn in the lesson rotational motion. But right now, from theta obviously I have to write the dimension formula m0 L0 T0. From time it is T1, and so the remaining is m0 L0 T raised to minus 1. Now, permittivity of vacuum. This is from a chapter of 12th standard, that is charges and electric field. This is permittivity of vacuum, which is denoted by epsilon 0. I repeat, this is epsilon 0. Now the equation of force between two charges is given by F is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 upon R square. I repeat, this is the force between two charges. You know that if you put two charges close to each other, then either they will repel if they are same, and they will attract if they are opposite. So the equation of that force is given by F is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 upon R square, where epsilon 0 is the permittivity of vacuum. So from that, permittivity of vacuum, that is epsilon 0, can be taken as subject, and so we will get epsilon 0 is equal to Q1 Q2 upon 4 pi F R square. Now from this equation we can write the dimension formula. See, Q1 Q2 both are charged, and for charge the dimension formula is A1 T1, and because both are charged, that's why it is having square now. 4 pi is having no dimension formula. For force you can write m1 L1 T minus 2, and for radius it is L1, but there is a square, so L1 raised to square. So the dimension formula is m raised to minus 1 L raised to minus 3 and T raised to 4 A raised to square. Permeability of vacuum. This was permittivity of vacuum, this is permeability of vacuum, which is for magnetic field. This was for electric field and electric force, and this is for magnetic field and magnetic forces. And the equation of force between two current carrying wire. See, whenever two wires are carrying current, they produces magnetic field, and that's why there is a force between these two current carrying wire, and that equation is F is equal to mu 0 upon 2 pi y and I1 I2 into L. This is the equation of force between two current carrying wire. The current is I1 and I2, the length of the wire is L, and the distance between both of the wire is y. Now from this I have to take mu 0 as a subject. So if I take mu 0 as subject, then the equation will be as given here. Mu 0 is equal to 2 pi Fy upon I1 I2 L. And so the dimension formula will be, for force the dimension formula will be m1 L1 T minus 2. For y, that is distance, it is L1. For current I1 and I2, it is A1 raised to square, and then for length it is L1. Solving all of them, you will get m1 L1 T minus 2 A minus 2. Now electric field. Electric field is having equation E is equal to F upon Q. Force per unit charge is electric field. So it is F, that is force, and Q, that is charge. For force, the dimension formula is m1 L1 T minus 2. For charge, it is A1 T1. So you will get m1 L1 T minus 3 A minus 1. Then magnetic field. Magnetic field is B is equal to F upon IL. This is again from one famous equation of 12th standard, that is F is equal to ILB. Whenever we put a current carrying wire of length L in magnetic field, it feels a force. F is equal to ILB. So from this equation, B can be taken as a subject, and so B is F upon IL, where F is force, I is current, L is the length. For I, the dimension formula is, for F, the dimension formula is m1 L1 T minus 2. For I, the dimension formula is A1. For L, the dimension formula is L1. Solving this, we will get m1 L0 T raised to minus 2 and A raised to minus 1. Then thermal conductivity. Thermal conductivity is having a equation K is equal to small k. Note, this is small k. For thermal conductivity, small k. Small k is equal to QL upon A delta T and small t. This Q is heat. It is thermal energy, and L is length, A is area, and delta T is the difference of temperature, and small t is time. I repeat, Q is thermal energy, L is length, A is area, delta T is change of temperature, and T is time here. So from this, now the dimension formula of Q will be M1, see Q is thermal energy, so it is M1 L2 T minus 2. For L, obviously it is L1. For area, it is L2. For change of temperature or difference of temperature, it is K1, and for time it is T1. Solving this, we will get M1 L1 T minus 3 K minus 1.